Welcome to Hornets Live, presented by American Pie Pizza. I want to say thanks to everybody here and to everyone watching live on the Natural State Sports Network. And again, we're going to be right here at American Pie Pizza every week of the regular season talking with Hornet coaches and players. And remember, every Tuesday night here at American Pie Pizza, it's $2 Tuesday, so get $2 off a 14-inch pizza and whatever other great specials Tamsy may surprise us with throughout the season. So get over here to 9709 Maumelle Boulevard and join us for Hornets Live and $2 Tuesdays. Well, we got some, you said it a minute ago, it smells really good. That is the buffalo chicken pizza. And then these were Andy's favorite wings back in the day. I've actually seen Andy cry eating mango habanero wings. But that's what those are. So I'm hoping Coach will grab a hold of a couple of those and get to Horton throughout the broadcast.
Well, good report from the doctor's office today, so I think I can partake a little bit more.
You can have wings. Look, there's plates. I got you. So, all right, man. All right, Coach. Well, we're just going to get into it. A big one last week. We had a long trip down to Shreveport and didn't get the final results we wanted, but I think we learned a lot about your team this week.
Well, non-conference is about getting better every week. We've been in a position to win all four games. We could very well be 4-0 right now. We're not. We wish we were, but we're not. But I think we've grown every single week, and I think we grew the most this past week. We didn't know what to expect, walking into a team we never played, didn't have any common opponents. Know that they played for the state championship last year and lost, but we're a really good football team. They had 92 kids on the roster, and we watched the film, and it was kind of hard to decipher. Around here, we would at least have a common opponent or had played against somebody in team camp or something like that to just have a clue with it. But we went down there and kind of playing blind, but I thought the kids showed up both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I think, and I don't, if you don't know Louisiana football, obviously there's only 5 classifications, so some people may have looked at it and thought, well, you've got 2 5A schools going at it, but the fact of the matter is, and I compared it in the broadcast to a Cabot, an old Malham team back, when he was there, kind of similar size school, and ran a similar offense. So I think. Watching the game and following along, I was impressed, and it was enjoyable to watch you guys really battle out there and really watch the defense come to form in the first half. And we'll get into a lot of it, but in the second half, the offense really seemed to get clicking. So, but a fun game to call from our perspective. We talked a little bit, but you talked about the mindset and the prep coming into the game. We'll just get into it. First drive of the game, it looked like you wanted to get the run game going. Was that part of the game plan coming in? Obviously, I think it is most weeks, but
well, when you got a line the size of ours, it would behoove you to at least give it a shot, to kind of see how you add up, to see if we can lean on them. The old adage, if they can't stop the run, why do anything else? But we've got some really good perimeter players, some really good receivers. But we've kind of got to test the water with the line and see how we add up on the line of scrimmage, see if we can win that.
Yeah, I thought it, and it went fairly well. I mean, you were moving down the field a little bit, opening some big holes, but a couple of incompletions towards the end of that drive kind of stymied things. And if I remember right, I think there was a big throw to Hunter there that if we could have just made that play, would have kept the drive going.
Well, I thought we moved it pretty well, pretty much the whole night. Mixing it up, not just being run heavy, not just being pass heavy, but keeping them guessing. I thought we did a good job of that and utilizing all of our playmakers. A lot of guys got touches, and and that's how we have to operate. We can't be predictable. We have to trust the things that we have in place, and guys got to step up when they get their number called.
I think we talked about after coming out of the Vilonia game that special teams may have been there was some issues in special teams. Maybe that was from missing a couple of guys, but we had a few missed extra points. And really, I mean, on the night outside of the clip that we'll play here, I thought we played really well special teams except for this one play, and it was just blocked up beautifully by Byrd too. Though I mean, kind of give him credit here, building one heck of a lane. Although I thought that was a block in the back that didn't get called.
Well, I'll diagnose this play a little bit further. We are in our left punt formation, which means that the punt needs to go to the left. We kicked it to the right, which put us in a bad spot to begin with. Now our coverage team knows how to correct that, and we did a decent job of trying to correct it. There was a block in the back and a poor pursuit angle. So somebody got a bad grade on coverage, and there was a block back, wasn't called. But, it's even if we mess up like that from the punter's perspective, not kicking it the right direction, we've got to do better of covering it. Now, in hindsight, I'm sure that Dez wished that he kicked it left for left punt, and if he would have, we would have covered it. And he did the rest of the night. That was the only mistake he made.
Yeah, and I was going to say, special teams-wise, I thought you guys played really well, and I'll get into that here in just a minute too. The next offensive drive ended in a punt. It was, we did a much better job on covering that one, and then we got the defense on the field, and we've talked a little bit about this, but the defense was crazy impressive all night long.
Oh, absolutely. We didn't know how we'd match up, up front and everything like that, but we gave them fits all night. They were unable to do, what they wanted to do outside of a couple plays. We really stymied their offense.
So we were able to force a punt there, and then I thought this was a big part. Will's going to play this return video, and this is Jesse Knight returning this one. And I've not seen this really, and obviously I'm sure you have, but I thought Jesse did a really good job in the return game in the couple of opportunities he got, even though they were called back for some interesting calls.
Well, if you don't know Jesse, he's a very interesting individual.
Yes, he is.
He's very energetic, and he's kind of become a team leader and a spark plug for us. He's dynamite in a bottle. He's not very large in stature, but he really gets after it. He's on almost every special teams we have, and of course, he's a heck of a safety.
Well, he definitely seemed to energize things, and it seemed like every time after, even with the penalties and issues they're the calls, we'd have a big play right after that. After that penalty, or after that punt return and penalty was marked off to the 44, the best wide receiver quarterback duo in the 5A got together for the sixth time this year as Pierce found Watts on this big play for 44 and a touchdown to tie the game up.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, that's also the call of the week.
It was.
So I'm glad you guys got some props. You guys do a great job of calling our games, and that's one of my favorite plays to dial up. Any chance we get to take a shot, and I thought after, kind of where we were at right then, it was a good opportunity to take a shot early in downs.
Well, and let's just talk about the throw by Pierce. It seems obviously you get better as you go each week, but his accuracy just continues to impress me week after week.
Well, he's as good as any quarterback in the state as far as throwing the ball downfield. And the first thing we got to do is tip our cap to our offensive line. It gave him time to do it. They really do a good job of creating a good pocket for him and allowing him to be comfortable back there. And then even if we have a breakdown in that, he does a good job of moving his feet and keeping his eyes downfield and creating time.
Well, and you say call of the game as well. I've joked with my broadcast partner on that one was our buddy Aaron Weatherford. And for those of you who didn't catch it, Aaron's going to be our PA guy starting when we finally get to play at home in a couple of weeks. And so it was exciting to have him on there. But he made a comment about that. If you listen to the call, if you can hear it over my screaming, you hear Aaron talking about how much time they got. The offensive line definitely played really well on that play and most of the game as well. So the defense would be the story of the rest of the first half, really for both teams, and play this defensive video. But I want to talk about the play of the defense a little more. They held Byrd. You guys held Byrd to under 50 yards of total offense and only one first down the entire first half.
Yeah, they dominated the line of scrimmage. It didn't matter what Byrd was trying to do. And again, this is the largest classification in Louisiana, a team with 92 kids on the roster. They're really good at what they do, and our defense really just shut them down.
Yeah, and there were we had two different sets of stats, one from the great Jim Ashley and then one from the folks there at Byrd. And I know Jim had them only with 26 yards total in the first half, and then the other side had 44. Either way, a super impressive first half of football defensively, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, I was really proud of our defensive unit. We see these guys every day, and so sometimes we take it for granted, but they're a really special group.
So what's the message to the team at the half? The offense had its moments but never got on track, and the defense, of course, playing lights out against the team that you talked about, probably playing 7A ball in the state of Arkansas.
Well, we weren't really alarmed or majorly concerned offensively because we had moved the ball effectively. We just didn't cash in as much as we'd like. We cashed in on that long throw to Rod, but it was more of a collectively we need to sustain our drives and finish because we were moving the ball, but we weren't quite getting to the end zone. And so offensively it was real easy. We made a couple of adjustments, and the guys really rallied and played up. all the positions were really good in the second half offensively. And defensively, it was like, guys, you know what they're going to do. They're not going to create anything new for you. I mean, it was, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. We'd read all week, or I'd read most of the week, and talked about Mitchell Ramsey as a playmaker, and we'd heard about him in the return game for Byrd, and then, we got to kind of see that on the punt return, and then come out in the second half, and we open up and leave a little seam, and Ramsey does his thing as he takes this one to the house in the second half to get things started for Byrd. What was the feeling of the team after that? I mean, obviously they run enough. You think they're probably going to get one at some point.
Well, we didn't expect it to be that play. We had we took a poor angle, and we kind of had a missed assignment at the same time. Either one of those things doesn't happen. It's a tackle for a minimal gain. Instead, they get a big play out of it.
So the second half, we seem to get the passing game going, but there's a guy that I want to talk about, because about 3 weeks ago, I think you and I had a conversation, and the question was, who's going to be the guy behind Rod? You know what you have with Roderick Watts, and you told me, you said Hunter Specht is that Swiss Army knife. He can do a little bit of everything, and he showed it Thursday down in Shreveport with a huge game, 8 catches, 107 yards, and a touchdown. The impact of him in this game and how it'll impact the offense going forward as well.
Well, I'm looking at him while I'm talking about this right now because he's got a 42-inch vertical. He's very athletic, and to me, it's always, if he reaches his potential, he could be dynamite. And I think he's getting close to it. We can do a lot of things with him. He's very intelligent football-wise, and he's very athletic.
So, again, we'll get to some of his highlights here in just a bit, as he's our offensive player of the game. And it was nice to see that. You also had Dez with a couple of catches. He had a good game last week against Bologna. So it's good to see, several options now starting to come up out of the wide receiver room. And the passing game got going in the second half. Tie game at 7 going, or it was 14-7, at this point. But it seemed like maybe this was the drive where we could start seeing the Louisiana coming out in the officials. Byrd's, we'll play this fumble here. Without getting in too much, was there ever an explanation as to why we don't get the ball out of this scenario?
Well, actually, it was the best explanation I've ever heard from an official who had made a mistake. He said, "I saw him get the ball. It was Byrd." So it's kind of hard to argue with that. Obviously we didn't see it the same way on film or in live, but I will never, as long as I'm a head coach, I will never give our players an excuse, even if we're getting cheated or being wronged or whatever by officials. Is complaining about it won't do any good, and if you continue to play, you can beat any adversity there is. And so we don't harp on those sort of things, even if we don't feel like they're right. The officials on the sideline got to hear from me and Coach Chambers quite a bit on that, but we don't allow that to be something that ends what we're trying to do.
That's our job in the booth. We can say all that. We'll, especially in Louisiana, it's different.
And we appreciate that. Yeah. We really do.
So Byrd would score a couple plays after that and makes it 21-7. But Jesse Knight would strike again with another really nice return on this kickoff. And again, I continue to be impressed with everything that Knight can do on a football field. And this was a nice return, nice cut there, and then gets outside. And I thought, man, he may actually have a really good shot. But I don't know if anybody sees the block that Nico put in on that as well, but I noticed that earlier. That knock, even though it almost killed Hunter, it was one heck of a block.
Well, we made a commitment a couple years ago to put playmakers defensively on all our special teams. They tend to be a little bit more aggressive, and it allows them to live their offensive fantasies, to maybe touch the ball. And, we've got a lot of skill when it comes to our defensive players, and so they're on special teams for a reason, and so it's nice when you see a guy like Jesse and Nico contributing that way, just because it shows that their team nature and will to win.
So the offense definitely seemed energized after that punt return, or after that kick return, and then this little shovel pass really got the drive started, and a creative little wrinkle that you guys seem to come up with this week on offense.
Well, if you would have saw it the first day we were installing this, you may think differently of it. We had to tweak a few things. We had to mess with our timing a little bit. But, you know, the players really bought into the wrinkles we had this week, and they are this week as well. And, you know, those guys believing in what we're doing and then executing into that, you know, that level is, you know, a big part of how we've grown.
So we talk about Dez being the third guy, or 2A, 2B, or 1A, 1A, 1B, C, and he got involved on this drive as well. And then Pierce throws this just absolutely perfect throw to the back of the end zone to Hunter Specht for a 14-yard touchdown here.
Well, I've got to give the call credit to Coach Farmer. You know, we were mixing up well down that whole drive, and he said, "Coach, throw Spider right now. It's there." And, you know, we ran with it, and, you know, Weston threw a good ball, and Hunter went up and made a play, and it was a good deal getting in. So.
Yeah, definitely a great call. And I think I said after the play, you know, we've talked about this here, having the extra, you know, everybody else starting to contribute more. But it was nice because I think, you know, week 1 or week 2, that may have been eyes locked on Rod the whole way. And Pierce did a good job to get through the progression and find the right guy there.
Right. When you hear people talk about balance on offense, you know, they're usually talking about run or pass. To me, it's about who's touching the ball. You know, if we got 6 or 7 guys that we can put in and we can put the ball in their hands or have a play call for them and they can execute that along with the line, you know, it makes us so versatile. It's hard to prepare for, you know, and so it was real big for Hunter stepping up this week. It's real big for Dez to make plays when it happens to him. It's real big for our running backs to execute the run game and even, you know, coming out of the backfield effectively, because, you know, if we only have 1 or 2 players to call up, you know, that's easy to defend. But when we've got 6 or 7 guys that, you know, at any point in time can come up with a big play, that makes us a whole lot better.
So Byrd's offense seems to get going a little bit on the next drive, but 21-14, I think we're feeling pretty good. Momentum seems to be shifting. I think the crowd was probably getting a little nervous there. There's a good-sized crowd there for Byrd. But, again, those officials kind of crept up again with another interesting call, another fumble. We'll play it here. And this one, a good play call, but then a great play by the defense to get that ball out. And I thought for sure that this was going to be the turning point in the game.
Well, I don't know what the official was seeing or blowing his whistle for at that time. You know, I mean, obviously I'm on the sideline. You know, where the ball came out was away from me. The player's body was in between me and the ball. So, you know, it's hard for me to really tell if it was out or not. I mean, and at the end of the day, what the officials call is what is going to happen. You know, we had some questions, and it was just basically, was it blown dead or not? Because if it wasn't blown dead, it was a fumble.
Yeah. So the possession would end, though. You guys would get them off the field with a field goal, a big field goal by Hamway, 42 yards, and but the call was big. That would get them within 10, or that would give them a 10-point lead. But we would answer again and play this second Specht shovel pass first. Again, this was probably the one. I think even on my call was like, oh no, this looks bad. And then Specht just kind of showed up out, and it was a great play. 28-yard gain gets us out to midfield and out of the shadows of our own end zone.
Well, if you look at the front end of that play, Kelby Forte had a pancake block right here.
Mm-hmm.
He loves doing that, and I love watching that, and I'm sure Hunter did at the time. You know, the misdirection part of that was big because early in the game we ran outside zone and pin and pull. You know, with that lateral movement, and so we kind of gave him that look, and then came back with the counter with it, and you know, Hunter got the ball and had a good angle, and Kelby had a nice pancake right there, and so it was a big play for us.
Yeah, and I promise you, Aaron's going to be a great asset on the PA announcing, because you know, his calls for like the pancake, and what was the other one, the deuce tackle, that was a good one too. So I'm sure he's going to come up with a few of those deuce pancakes or deuce tackles on the PA announcement. So I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
Yeah. So then on 4th and 3 of this drive, Pierce would find Watts for a big gain here, 26 yards. This would get us down to the 1. I apologize, Rod, that I called you Dez at the beginning of this call. Sometimes that 9 is hard to see. But big play by Rod as he's able to make a catch. Almost scores. May have been on the back, according to Jim Ashley from in the booth. But big play there got us down to the 1, and then we'd score just a couple of plays later with the QB1 sneak.
Well, again, offensive line stepped up big, giving Weston enough time to throw. And, you know, the back out of the backfield right there, got the expansion that we needed to where they left Rod's snag route open, and West delivered a good ball. And, of course, Rod's a playmaker once he's got the ball in his hands.
So the defense would do it again, come out, force a 3-and-out, and with 4:24 left in the game and down just 3, we're 83 yards from getting a W in Shreveport. So after back-to-back first downs to start the drive, we find ourselves in a 4th and 8, and then this happens. And I don't even want to watch it again. It was pretty frustrating. But is there a PG version of the conversation you had with the officials after this one?
No.
No? Okay.
But I will say this. If we could, Will, if you'll work with me here, you'll follow the sideline official from the bottom of the screen here. I reenacted this quite a bit over the last few days. You can see, obviously, the ball's down at the 49 or maybe a little bit past it. An official originally is marking it there. And then you get the the Friday Night Lights version of the walk, which goes to the left. It's at least half a yard moved right there, and then when they measure, we come up about 6 inches short. So, it's pretty obviously what happened here.
Yeah, tough one there. Turned it over, causes us to turn it over on downs. Byrd would get the ball back, run out the clock, and either way, it does. We come out with the loss. We're 1-3, but let's just be honest. You got to be. We've talked about it, proud of the team after this one. A big time matchup against an out of state opponent that really most didn't give us a chance to win. I know Hooten said by 10. I know when I was on with the guys Friday night, I was listening, and Barry Grooms was on there saying, well, we thought it would be a blowout, and was really impressed with what we were able to do. So I think, at the end of the day, even coming out with an L, it's still, you hate to use the moral victory terms, but it was, I think, at the end, the most important piece. You learned a ton about your team this week.
Well, like I said earlier, we could very well be 4-0, but I think we wouldn't have learned as many lessons. In years prior, and, the MO with Maumelle, us being a young school, Maumelle's only been around since 2011. I mean, when I first started out at Maumelle, we were Oak Grove still. The MO is we quit sometimes when the going gets tough, but with this group of seniors and everybody really, staying the course and understanding that the growth that needs to happen in off season, the summer, and then now with non-conference, everybody stayed the course. It stunk losing that game on Thursday, especially as well as we played, but everybody's with the program, everybody's staying the course and getting better each week.
All right, Coach, we'll wrap things up for now, take a break. But when we get back, we're going to be joined by our offensive and defensive players of the game, Hunter Specht and Nico Davillier. He's a great blocker. Now Pierce, he wants to throw. Looking deep, going deep, up over the top. That's Roderick. Roderick Watts, the best wide receiver in 5A, finds the end zones for the Hornets. 46 yards away for Roderick Watts, and the Hornets are an extra point away from tying this one up. They didn't call it, but it doesn't matter. The Hornets are going to get a loss out of this one anyway. Here we go. Pass right up the middle again. The Hornets are ready for it. C.J. Murphy all over that one. There we go. Look at this Hornets defense. This one. Oh, look at Nico in the backfield again. The Predator getting her done. As Nico comes after that one. Now he wants the football left side, and the Hornets are ready for it. Great job there by the defense. Get in there and make a huge play. Right up the middle. Murphy's ready for it. He almost took the handoff. And now the Powell somehow moves forward down to the school record 225 yards receiving last week. And what a hit in the backfield. Guess who? Guess who? Son, number 5, Nico Davillier. Just gonna fake it, wants to throw quickly. Nice little slant pattern to Roderick. Roderick makes the catch. He's out to the 30. It should be enough for a Hornet first down. And it is going to be they want to throw here to start the second half. Got Specht. He's got a lot of room. He can make one man miss. Does inside him. 40 and taken down at the 44-yard line.
21-7, still right midway through the third quarter. Still got a chance here to come back and make a big punt.
Knight's got a chance from the 7 across the 50, across the 20. Cuts outside, he may go 25, got some room here, 30, 35, gets another block, 40, 45, across midfield, 45, 40, and finally taken down to the 39-yard line. Yeah, I'd like to see some more running here. They do a nice little inside handoff to Specht. Across the 40, break it, boy. Across midfield and going to go all the way to the 45-yard line. It's Hunter Specht. That was a creative little play there.
I will have these guys memorized.
All right, so Weston wants to throw. He's got Dez open. Dez makes the catch at the 20. Runs the guy over at the 15 down to the 14.
Here's looking.
And that's
like they're bringing the house.
They were. Now wants to throw the fade. He's got Specht back there. Got it. Hunter Specht got it in the back zone, and that's a touchdown. Hornets. As the Hornets. Nichols motion guy. And the Hornets, that ball might have been loose. And that'll be right side with this one. The Hornets stuffed that one. Great job there by the Hornets. As Whitley in there. I'm going to keep it in the Hornets. Oh, look at Nico.
So far tonight.
Oh, what in the world? That was a big underneath pitch.
Like
Specht's got a chance. Cross the 30, 35, 40, 45, pushed out of bounds at the 48-yard. Here, I didn't mind the call, just missed a block. Pierce fakes it, looking, got his man over the middle, low throw, goes down and gets it. Here we go, looking to his right. He's got Crawford, throws it, got him open. That's Dez. Dez got to break the tackle. 15, 10, 5 inside, all the way down to the 2-yard line. Going to be down at the 2.
That's got to make it better, too.
Here we go, motion man, and they'll go up the middle with it. Hornets are ready for that one as they dive this one for maybe a yard and a half. They're going to be just shy of the 45.
You think number 5 was pretty
nerves on this home side too right now.
Yeah.
Pierce gets it. He looks to throw. Pierce going to roll to his right. Now trying to get away. He does. Good move. Now throws this one. Got Watts. Watts makes the catch. He's going to be pushed out of bounds as he crosses it. Okay, it's Weston. Weston looking, throwing. Got the bubble screen. Caught by Watts. Watts dragging people. First down. First down.
That is a first down.
Down to the 49. All right, welcome back to Hornets Live from American Pie Pizza, presented by Natural State Sports. I want to mention the official sponsor of the Maumelle Hornets, Dio Vanucci and Cornerstone Home Lending. In this real estate market, it is imperative that you work with the best lenders to ensure you are in the best position possible when making an offer. Dio and his team will ensure you have a great experience from kickoff to the closing table. Text Dio to 36260 and get your home search kicked off today. All right, so joining me now are our offensive and defensive players of the game, wide receiver Hunter Specht and defensive lineman Nico Davillier. Nico, let's get started with you, man. So you're a Louisiana kid, right?
Yeah.
So was there any extra motivation this week to go down there and not only put on for Arkansas, but put on for the state of Louisiana a little bit?
I think that went through my head a little bit, but I just wanted to go out there and just play and just show what I can do.
Your aggressiveness was something. Obviously, you're aggressive out there on the field all the time. We've been able to follow you from whether it's practice, basketball season, football season, whatever. You're always aggressive. But, man, watching you in the backfield, Friday night, I don't think there was any question. You guys as a defense overall had a phenomenal game, but you just seemed to be on a different level. Was there anything to that? Obviously, the Louisiana thing, but maybe there was a little familiarity with facing a team like Sylvan Hills that had a similar style of offense. Did that help any?
I think it did because I knew they just wanted to run up the middle. So I just told my coach, let me move inside and just let me play how I play. And I think that was a big factor in the game. But
well, it definitely worked out because they couldn't get anything going. You were in the backfield most of the night. And the defense set the tone early in this one with big plays, and you seemed to be in the backfield constantly. What made you so successful on Thursday night?
I think just firing off the ball and being aggressive, just being a bigger – athletic guy than the offensive lineman. It just had a little push on me.
So, we always, going after the quarterback, sacking the quarterback is always a lot of fun. Defensive lineman dream, get back there, get the big sack. Kind of had those opportunities against Valonia, a team that threw a little bit more. But coming into this one, Byrd's a team that was averaging over 400 yards a game rushing. Was there any extra motivation to just say, you know what, we can shut down the run too, and I want to prove what I can do against the run too?
I just think I'm a great defensive run stopper just because of my size and my athletic, but I didn't know they was that good on the running side of the ball. I just went in the game just to play and just get a dub.
All right, so I'm going to let Will play your highlight video here, and we're just going to sit back and enjoy a few of the plays from Nico in this one. And this was a lot of fun. There was some plays in here that, you embarrassed some people. Let's just put it that way. I think that's actually one of my favorite hits. I don't know why. It was just hilarious. And then this play, that's a big play. That was a huge, huge play in the game, a huge moment in the game as they were trying to get a first down, a big third down play. And I'd say that was a big point of it too. And as Aaron said on the broadcast, if you've had a chance to go back, watching your footwork and your ability to shed the block there and get in the backfield and make the tackle was impressive, and you did it multiple times. This was another example of that as well. I think there's a lot of extra here that's probably not coming because we had to get our commentary in there too, and make sure the commentary makes it in your highlight videos. But was there anything specific Byrd was doing that just tipped off exactly what they were going to do, made it a little easier?
I have to say when the guard kept leaning forward, I knew he was going to just chop me every time, so I had to get out first and just push him down and just find the ball.
I think there was a play early in the game. I think I called it out where there was a false start. Like he started way early and was falling down, and then I think he paid for it afterwards for sure.
Yeah, he was leaving early every time. I just went with it. The refs wasn't calling anything, so I just played.
So who's a player you try and model your game after?
Aaron Donald and Cameron Jordan.
Okay. That's two good ones.
Yeah.
That's not bad ones to go after. What's your favorite part of their game? What do you try to take from each of those guys?
Just the footwork and the pass rush and the run stop.
So Coach often refers to this team being a player-led team. We were talking a minute ago about, there's times when you guys maybe in the past have let go of the rope a little bit, especially in situations where, you look at the Robinson game where we were up 20. You guys continued fighting. Even though they got the lead, we continued fighting. You look at the Valonia game. We fell behind multiple scores. We came back and got back in that one, nearly came away with the W. And then again this week, get down 2 scores, come back, had a great opportunity to win late. Is that player-led mentality, does that help you guys stay consistent and really hold each other accountable?
Yeah, I think it do. I think it just pushes us and just motivates us more. Just not having to have the coaches just tell us what to do and just step up and be a leader and lead our peers.
So it's been a tough 4-game stretch, 3 losses, but only by a combined 8 points. So it could easily be 4-0. How do you feel you've grown as a player through the first 4 games of the season?
I just say my leadership. Just being a good teammate and a good listener on the field.
All right. So I thought about starting a question and answer session here for the fans, to give us some fans, but I've only gotten one question the whole night. It keeps coming from Michael Shook, whoever that guy is. He's like, is this guy going to play basketball? So, no, I'm just kidding about that. That's a joke. You don't have to answer that question. I'm kidding. But I know we've been giving Shook a hard time. So, but no. So we won't hold you to either one of those things.
I answered if y'all.
All right.
No, I would not.
No, he's not going to play basketball. We're going to keep bugging you, though. We still got a few weeks to figure it out. So, all right. So let's talk with our offensive player of the game, Hunter Specht. Welcome, Hunter.
Thank you.
So great game last week, 8 catches for 107 yards and a touchdown. Talk a little bit about just that game and what was working for you.
I think the quick stuff was definitely the reason I got down the field the way I did, just because it was always a linebacker over me. And then, I'm not going to be arrogant or anything, but a linebacker can't guard me. So just get the quick, easy stuff, and then we're good to go.
Hey, be arrogant, and I'll use that as a talking point on the broadcast Friday. So make sure we let them know linebackers can't cover you, because I can say that all I want. I call Rod the best wide receiver in 5A. We may have the best receiving core in 5A, and I'm gonna catch all kinds of flack for that. So, but it's a lot of fun watching you guys out there work. And Rod gets a lot of the attention, but it's got to be exciting for you because it usually means more opportunities, right?
Yes, sir.
There's all that brings open opportunities for you to get on, and usually you're probably going to have their better guy covering Rod, and you end up on a linebacker or somebody that you can really take advantage of. So we're going to play your highlight video here, and I talked to Horton earlier. He says referred to you as a Swiss Army knife of the receiving group. Watching the highlights, it's easy to see whether it's a deep ball, whether it's a middle throw, or those little shovel passes. It does seem like you can do a little bit of everything on the football field.
Sure can.
So we're looking, and let's see, where did we get? I wasn't looking up at our film here, but a few of these. This is the touchdown catch. Talk about that just a little bit on the throw from Weston.
Well, I walked up, and that play is probably my favorite play, and so I saw the safety came down to blitz, and it was just me and the linebacker. So it was the only person I had to beat. So
did you tell him you can't guard me when you ran past him?
I should have.
I'm gonna get you guys in trouble. You're gonna get some kind of personal effect and be like, "Well, Steve said to say it." So that's unsportsmanlike calls. But a good run there. I love the shovel pass there. I don't know. I think we've passed the one. I think one of my favorite plays of yours from the night. No, I think it's coming up after this one. Was a little catch. That was a good play. Almost stayed in bounds. But this one, I think, where you split the defensive backs, and this was a nice play here. I just about broke this one.
Oh,
I
wanted to hurdle them so bad.
That would have been great for the film, no doubt. So who's a guy that you try and model your game after?
Stephon Diggs.
Okay, that's a good one. Not what I expected, but that's a good one.
Always smart on the field, just knows when to sit down, when to shorten the route if he needs to. Just always knows, is aware of the defense.
What do you think your strongest attribute as a wide receiver?
Route running probably.
Talk about your quarterback, Weston Pierce. What's helped make that connection between the two of you grow over these first 4 games?
I'm going to say definitely the fact that we've known each other for probably the last 8 years, and we've always been good friends, and so it's just helped.
So what is your favorite part about playing wide receiver?
They get most of the touchdowns.
You get to celebrate. Do we have a good celebration dance?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
But one's coming.
Working on it. All right. Just make sure it's off the sideline where we won't get in trouble. So we'll make Matt find you on the sideline so we can get it on camera. We're gonna do it off the side so Coach don't get mad at us. So, what's your favorite thing to do outside of football?
Eat.
Eat? Well, we're in a good place for it.
Oh, yeah, this place is amazing.
I think your pizza's all gone over there, right?
Sure is.
Yeah, that didn't last long at all. See, usually they bring it to you while you're sitting here and you don't have time to eat it, so you got to sit here and stay hungry. But you guys tore that one up over there. So, Nico, yours is gone too, right? Yeah, not surprised. So, all right, fellas. Well, we appreciate you guys joining us. I told you this would be easy. No big deal. Now you just got to make your way back up here again before the season's over. All right. So we're going to let you enjoy, whatever pizza's left. If not, there's some wings and some more pizza here. So grab it and make sure you tell everybody how great the American Pie pizza was. How was that? How was your pineapples?
Good.
Unmute the man.
It was good.
All right.
It was.
See, Nico was messaging me from before the season. He had his pizza order ready. He knew what he was getting. We were just waiting for his night to get here. So next time, though, I challenge you guys. You got to order the Pizookie. Got to get the Pizookie. It's chocolate chip. If you like dessert, man, that's it.
I think I'm going to stick with my pizza.
All right, fine. They can put pineapples on a Pizookie if you want, I guess.
No.
All right, man. When we get back, we're going to talk with Coach Horton about the start of conference play.
My name is Brandon Aker. I'm the owner and pharmacist here at Aker Family Pharmacy in Maumelle. So here in our pharmacy, we like to focus on a hyper-personalized relationship with our patients, and that continues into our service sets. So we offer free delivery, curbside vaccinations, as well as custom compounded medications, including extended hours as well. I think you don't know the level of intimacy that you're going to get with your patients until you really get in it, and I can't imagine doing anything else.
All right. Welcome back, Hornets fans, to Hornets Live from American Pie Pizza. And if you're like Andy, you've done the right thing. You've ordered a salad and a Pizookie. And if you haven't ordered your Pizookie yet, order the Pizookie and bring me one. Head over to 9709 Maumelle Boulevard now, or head to www.americanpiepizza.net and get yours. All right, so the real season starts now, Coach. Get out, back out to West Little Rock, kind of a familiar area. We started the year off there, been there most of the season, and we get to go right down the street and face off with Little Rock Christian in the 5A Central Conference opener.
Well, unfortunately, we've driven past their field several times on a bus to go practice out at Robinson. They're a really good team. It's a heck of a test right out the gate with conference. But there's no moral victories in conference play. We know how tough our conference is, and this is just another tough week.
So I jumped ahead of myself a little bit. I'm going to jump back so we don't do this at the end of the show. But I know you wanted to talk a little bit, and we've talked about this on the broadcast a couple of times. But I know a big meeting happening tomorrow with some stuff coming out from PCSSD that you want to talk about.
Absolutely. It's our Director of Operations, Mr. Johnson, is going to come to Maumelle High School in the auditorium tomorrow, Wednesday, at 6 p.m. to discuss what we stand to gain if a bond restructuring gets voted yes in November elections. So basically, in a nutshell, it's a bond restructuring. The current bonds for Pulaski County Special School District, tax purposes, is being restructured to be prolonged a little bit longer, which would free up some money for lots of things within the district, facilities-wise to be gained. And for Maumelle, that means if a yes vote happens, we would get a brand-new indoor facility for sports, like all three other schools in the district have and several other schools in the area have, which would be a big shot in the arm for us. We've already had our new track approved, so we're going to get a new track. That bond restructuring, yes, would also give us baseball and softball playable on campus, and also get a band shell area within our football stadium so that our band has a place to play that's suiting. So it's a big-time deal for us to get people to come out. I implore you, if you're not doing anything tomorrow, please come to Maumelle High School auditorium at 6 p.m. so you can hear about it, because that yes vote would be a really big thing for Maumelle as far as athletics goes and facilities goes.
Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, or someone can correct me, but because it's just a bond restructuring, this doesn't change anything from a tax. It's already there. You're already paying it. Now it's going to be reallocated if it gets approved.
It would be no new taxes. Nobody's going to have to pay more. It's just a restructuring. It would similar to refinancing your home. It would prolong the bond structure to where it goes through 2048 instead of 2036. So nobody pays any new taxes, but a yes vote gives us all these new facilities within Maumelle.
And I think the important piece is, obviously, this is much like, we use this stream to invest in, the Maumelle Hornet, in the Maumelle schools and really into Pulaski County Special School District. This is the same thing. This is investing in the kids. This is giving them an opportunity to have the equipment that you guys need. But I think even more important, along those same lines, you talk about the baseball and softball situations. They've been playing, at the city fields, and it would be nice to have them right there on campus.
Well, absolutely. Our fields that are on campus are barely practicable, and so an upgrade is definitely needed. Getting them to a place where we could play on campus, not just for baseball, not just for soccer, but the track, having these facilities on campus is huge for our student athletes, because now they no longer have to leave the high school to go to practice or games.
So, and along those lines of facilities, big news this week is you got the approval last week to get back on our turf. And so talk about that as we head into conference play, and how nice it's been to be on your own field and be able to practice at home right now.
Well, you don't know what you got till it's gone. We'd always had that field to practice on, and then, because of the turf getting redone and then them finding 7 weeks. And so talking about adversity, most teams don't see adversity until they play their first good opponent. We were hit in the face with adversity in August, and I've really been pleased with how our players have responded to it. I mean, we've been practicing at Robinson or kind of a pasture practice field, which it brings some limitations and some challenges, and we've made no excuses. We've moved forward and we've tried to get better every single day. The core of our team, our seniors and juniors, have been really good leaders with, the driving force of trying to get better every day. And, going out there Monday and being on the field was great. Today it rained. We would have been in a muddy practice field, but we were on our turf. And, I think we got better yesterday, and I think we got better today.
Well, and not to jump ahead a week because this is a huge week, obviously, but, boy, I don't know that there's ever been a more appropriate homecoming game in the history of high school homecoming games than there will be for that first game against PB.
Well, most people's homecoming for the first home game of the year is not on October the 1st. But, it is suiting. It would feel a whole lot better going into the homecoming week with the victory this Friday.
Absolutely. All right, so we knew this would be a tough non-conference slate. You had a 6A semifinal in Sylvan Hills, a Robinson team picked to win their conference, a good Valonia team, and an out-of-state trip against a really good Byrd team. Hats us at 1-3, but those 3 losses have been by a combined margin of just 8 points. What's the message to the team as we start conference play?
Well, the little things are important, and really you can look at special teams, something we've always prided ourselves on. Every single loss we've had, there's been one or more special teams mistakes. You limit those, you play a perfect game in special teams. I think we're a really hard team to beat.
Yeah, I would agree. And it's interesting. I was reading through, some of the forums and all that kind of stuff on Fearless Friday and a few of the other places. And even though at 1-3, I know, like, Hooten still has us ranked in their top 10 in 5A. Fearless Friday, I was reading through some of the stuff, and one of the guys on there said there's no way you can't have a top 10 without Maumelle in it right now just because of who we've played. So, the adversity's been good for this team, I think. And I thought about this, too. And playing Byrd, a late pickup, a team you don't know a whole lot about, probably taught you a lot more, though, than, let's just say, and this is nothing against Little Rock Christian, but they went out and played a team in Mississippi that I'm assuming they had to pick up and blew them out 59-0. But this was a team that's struggling in the state of Mississippi. And I think you learn a lot more about your team, maybe losing 24-21 than losing or winning 59-0.
Right. As much as we'd want to be 4-0, I mean, the object, the goal each week is to win. I don't like being 1-3, and none of our players do, and that's because we're winners. We care about the end goal too. But part of the whole gist of playing non-conference is getting better each week. And we knew we had a talented group of seniors and juniors, and so it wouldn't have done us any justice playing a cupcake schedule. So I feel like each week we took something from it, we gained from it, and we got better from it. Now it's time for it to come to fruition in conference.
Well, it's got to come to fruition quickly as we get, again, Little Rock Christian, a team that, you guys held to 27 points. That was tied for their lowest output of the season last year with you guys, and then their loss in the state championship game. But a team that we fell to by only 10 at our place last year. So, an offense that's going to be led by sophomore Walker White and then a really good running back in Javian Dyer Jones. Talk about the challenges you expect from the Warriors.
Well, Christian's always talented and they're coached well. There's no walk in the park with them, so to speak. But, last year we were right there on the doorstep. We just didn't quite get over the hurdle. We made a big mistake on a goal line possession, which led to a turn. We lost 27-17, but if we score a touchdown instead of a field goal there, we're up 21-20, and maybe some of that other doesn't happen. So. Again, with some of these losses we've had this year and then that loss last year, I mean, you're 1 or 2 plays away from winning, So we feel confident about it. We feel like we can do it. It's just a matter of getting over that hurdle and guys coming through in the clutch.
So I know Coach Kohu had read some stuff that in their preseason stuff, and then one of their big things is finding an identity on defense. Talk about what you've seen from their defense so far this season.
Well, they've got good size. They're athletic. They've got some really good players. And I feel like we've got really good players too. I think it's a matter of executing what you do and winning matchups.
So it seems the story of the non-conference was inability, maybe it's the wrong word, but the inability to get everything synced up at the same time. You seem to have the defense going really well for a bit, or the offense going really well for a bit, and I think we saw that at the end of Thursday's game, where you could see just how good this team could be when both facets of the game are playing well together. What do you think the key is going to be to getting the offense going early on against Christian?
Well, I think we have to not be afraid to take shots, and we've got to make them count when we do. Our offensive line is gonna always be in the mix up front. So when we get holes opened up, we've got to make those home runs sometimes. We take a shot off a play action, our receivers got to go up and get it. And, that second half of the Byrd game, I started to see both those things happening, and I hope we pick up where we left off.
So the injury bug has bit us a couple of times here in the preseason, and as we get into conference play, do you feel pretty good about where we are coming out of all this and being pretty healthy for conference play?
Pretty healthy as you can be in week 4.
Yeah.
We've got a couple guys that have some injuries, but as far as I can tell, this Friday we should have everybody dressed.
All right, well, Coach, appreciate your time once again tonight, and along with our players of the game, Hunter Specht and Nico Davillier. And we're going to wrap up tonight's Hornets Live from American Pie Pizza. I want to give a big thanks to American Pie Pizza for hosting us tonight, not just tonight, but every Tuesday night. Make sure you're here with us again next Tuesday. But make sure you come by and see the folks here at American Pie Pizza. And they've been great supporters, and not just us at Natural State Sports and Maumelle Sports Network, but Maumelle Sports as well. So come see our friends here at 9709 Maumelle Boulevard. And then also make sure that you visit our other sponsors, Cornerstone Home Lending, Akel's Wholesale, Acre Family Pharmacy, PI Roofing, the Brooke Brolo Agency, and McClarty Nissan. For Natural State Sports, I'm Steve Henson, and this has been Hornets Live. See y'all Friday night.